One small town beams us onto the bridge of the Starship Enterprise.
And another thunders with tradition more than 150 years strong.
Today, we're boldly racing into history on the back roads of upstate New York. Welcome to Back Roads and Front Porches, where the stories of small-town America come to life. From hometown helpers to those keeping traditions alive, we're exploring the people, places, and moments that make these towns feel like home. So grab a seat on the front porch and a glass of lemonade and join us as we discover America's stories. Before we beamed aboard the Enterprise, we made a stop for lunch at the Black Bear in Ticonderoga. It's the kind of small-town restaurant where the plates are hearty, the coffee is strong, and the welcome feels like home. The perfect way to fuel up for the journey ahead. Not far down the road, tucked inside a plain building, we found something completely unexpected. From the outside, it doesn't look like much, but step through the doors and you're greeted by this store. Walls lined with memorabilia, shelves packed with models, uniforms, and collectibles. For Star Trek fans, it's like walking into a time capsule. Cameras were welcome here in the store, but once you step onto the set itself, it's different. Out of respect for the experience, video isn't allowed, only still photography. And maybe that makes sense, because the moment you walk into the transporter room, it feels less like filming a clip and more like stepping into a dream. The first room you enter is the transporter room, where you half expect the shimmer of light and that familiar soundtrack to kick in. From there, it's on to sick bay with its familiar beds and monitors, the place where more than a few interstellar emergencies were patched up. The path carries you through meeting rooms and engineering, each one built with incredible attention to detail. Blinking lights, colored panels, the curve of the corridors, and finally the bridge, the very heart of the Enterprise. Standing there, it's hard not to imagine Captain Kirk in the chair or Spock raising an eyebrow from his station. After a visit like that, you need a moment to let it sink in. So we made one more stop before the road carried us on, the wind chill factory. Instead of cones, we went for the famous flurries. The next morning, the back roads carried us into Saratoga Springs, a town where tradition runs deep. But before the races, we started our day the way locals do, at the Country Corner Café. Tucked right in downtown, it's been voted the best breakfast in Saratoga for the past 2 years, and it's easy to see why. Plates come out stacked with pancakes, omelets, and all the classics, the kind of hearty meal that feels like it's made to fuel the day ahead. We found ourselves tucked away in a little corner, just the four of us, with a table full of comfort food and hot coffee that never seemed to run out. It felt quiet, unrushed, and exactly the kind of start to your day you hope for in a small town. The perfect way to begin a day in Saratoga Springs, especially with the racetrack waiting just down the street. After breakfast, we took a walk through downtown Saratoga Springs. The streets were alive with shops opening, people heading out for the day, and that small town mix of history and energy that makes you want to slow down and look around. We stopped at the visitor center, the perfect place to grab maps, brochures, and get a sense of all the things to do. Friendly staff pointed us towards some of Saratoga's highlights, including one of the most famous, Congress Park. The park itself is a peaceful green space right in the middle of town, but what makes it special are the mineral springs. For generations, people have come here to sip the water, each spring with its own taste and story. Some swear by the health benefits. Others just enjoy the tradition. But either way, it's part of what makes Saratoga unique. From there, the path naturally leads towards the racetrack, where the energy shifts from quiet reflection to thundering excitement. Leaving Congress Park, the road carried us straight toward the track. The streets around it are lined with huge old houses, elegant reminders of how long this tradition has drawn many people here. Many of them have wide porches, the kind built for gathering, for telling stories, and for watching the world go by. You can almost imagine the generations that have sat there, swapping tales of races won and lost. We passed by the Hall of Fame, where jockeys past and present are celebrated. The grounds were buzzing. At the paddock, the horses circled under the trees while trainers and fans looked on. Carla grabbed a betting slip, and soon the anticipation was building. The bugler stepped up, sounding the notes that have opened races here for more than a century. The horses were led in, restless and ready. The gates clanged shut, and in a burst of energy they were off. Carla was on her feet, cheering, swept up in the rush that took over the stands. I moved down to the track level for a closer view. And that's when you really feel it, the thunder of hooves in your chest as the horses flew past. Between races, we wandered, catching the smells of food, the sound of laughter, and the sense that this was more than just a sport, it was tradition. At the winner's circle, we stood close as the victorious horse was led in, the rider greeted with applause, and then one more race for us. The horses came charging down the stretch, thundering past just a few feet away. As we made our way out, the races kept going. Here at Saratoga, the tradition never really ends. It's woven into the rhythm of the town. From imagination in Ticonderoga
To tradition in Saratoga Springs.
That's why we keep taking the back road.
Make sure you subscribe to catch what's coming.
Because next Sunday we wrap up our time in New York and you're going to want to see it.